Hi guys, welcome to Hairdryer Treatment. This is a Richard Ramble show. If you've been a part of this show before, you'll know that I do a lot of talking about some of the major topics going on in football right now. And yeah, I have a bit of a chat and a bit of feedback from you guys and a bit of interaction to talk about what's going on in the world of football. So, I'm going to dive straight in, and where else should I start really than what's going on at Old Trafford right now? And Jose Mourinho. Now, really poor again in midweek. I had a lot of stick on my Twitter for saying how poor that I really thought we were. Juventus didn't really have to go to first gear in that game for me, so I was definitely frustrated, definitely gutted with that performance. And what do you guys think? Do you think Jose needs to go now? Is it sackable form now with Jose Mourinho? Or do you think the players are to blame? Because I know there's a bit of a mixed bag still out there even now. For me, you all know my opinion now. I've said I've had enough of this football. I've said that for me it's time for Jose Mourinho to go. I don't think the players are fully playing for him. However, there's still a lot of people out there who are saying, you know what, Jose needs to stay. He needs to be given the time. He needs to be given the backing of the board. And there's still people who want Jose to remain. So what do you guys think? Is it time for Jose Mourinho to go? Realistically, has he done enough to turn it around? Can we see enough positives from the way that we're playing at the moment? And the results definitely are not showing positives at the minute. So for me, pretty much out of the Champions League, Jose Mourinho, his time is surely up, or it's definitely running out. Everton at the weekend, I will be at that game. I expect us to beat Everton at home. To be honest with you, I think we'll beat Everton at home, but we shall wait and see. Is Everton at home enough to keep Jose in his job? No, I don't think so. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. Your support obviously means a lot to me. My subscribers have gone through the roof over the last few days, which is absolutely fantastic, and good to get you all involved. Dwayne, hello to you as well. Pogba was pretty average. Yeah, he was average, but not just Pogba. We have to admit it wasn't just Pogba. Other than Lindelof, you could say, and De Gea, obviously, for some of the saves that he made, everybody was below average, below par on that pitch. Score prediction for Sunday, and evident in Mourinho's atrocity. For me, scores in a minute. I'll do at the end. I'm going to focus on some of the biggest games of the weekend, not just United, but Arsenal game, Liverpool game, Chelsea game, and obviously United's game as well. We're going to be doing some predictions on those games. Is Lukaku being criticised too much? What do you think about that? Lukaku was going to be my next topic. As you know, I've given him some stick on Twitter, but I've been doing that for a while now. I've said he isn't good enough. Yes, he's low on confidence. I completely understand that. Yes, he doesn't get the best service, but come on, surely the times he gets the ball, he needs to take hold of it. He needs to look after it more, and he's not even able to do that. Is he realistically a United standard striker? My opinion is no. If somebody else can throw it at me and say he is, then I would love to have this debate. But for me, he's not. He's definitely not United standard quality. I do feel for him. Like I say, he doesn't get the service, which I completely understand. As a striker, it must be frustrating for him as well. But he's missed so many chances as well. At the end of the day, chances aren't gifted to you in the Premier League, and the chances he has been given, he has not taken advantage of. And they have affected some of our results as well, and I think he has to take some of the rap for that. But do we think he needs to be backed in order for him to get the confidence back? Should he be played until he scores and he goes on another run? Or does he need to be dropped and have that kick up the arse that a lot of people think that he needs? Does he need to be dropped and maybe shove Martial in the 9? Or even get Mason Greenwood up into the 9? Personally, I think he should be dropped. I think if there's any other player playing that way, then they would be dropped. And I don't see why it should be any different for Lukaku. Jose talks shit about fans and the players and the club, and he's losing games. We are 10th in the league. We are struggling in the Champions League, and I can't believe he's still not sacked. First time travelling to Old Trafford, the atmosphere was electric. Came as an away fan, yeah. Lukaku is a squad player at best. He can't hold the ball up. He's technically crap. Put Sanchez up front. Well, Sanchez obviously won't be playing the weekend, so we can't put Sanchez up front, which is why a lot of people are saying let's put Mason Greenwood in the squad. That's how Rashford came upon. Why not? And I was buzzing to see Chong on the subs bench on Tuesday, and I was thinking, you know what, just shove him in. Let's see what the lad can do, because at the end of the day, we do not take enough risks with our football, and that's something that Chong and a bit of youth and a bit of excitement will bring. But typical Jose Mourinho, no, we don't use him. We don't even use any subs. Now imagine how those subs are feeling on the bench after not one sub being used. Your team is losing 1-0, and your manager doesn't trust you to be able to change that game, so he keeps the 11 on the pitch. Not one sub made. I know for me as a player, that would knock my confidence and it would make me feel worthless. So let's just imagine how they're feeling for the moment, especially how the game was going. It wasn't like we were playing well. We were awful. We have to recognise that we are horrible at the moment, yes. Best kit of any team this season, Napoli home kit for me. That Napoli home kit is smart, I must admit. Ooh, best kit of any team. It's a tough question. I actually like the pink Real Madrid one as well, but I just like pink kits to be fair, so I'm a bit biased. Awesome content. I feel negative vibes with Jose, just need to end ASAP. Top to bottom is just poorly structured at this club. Yeah, and talking about the structure of the club, David De Gea contract situation. Now, it's come out today that apparently Jose Mourinho has said that he's not confident with the fact that De Gea, his contract is running out. He's not confident of him signing a new deal. How do you guys feel about that? David De Gea, for me, he stayed for longer than I expected him to. Fair play to him, and I would not hate him for leaving. Can't blame him with the current situation. Obviously, I don't want him to leave. He's the best keeper in the world, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a United fan. As a football fan, I think you have to hold your hands up and admire the talent of the lad. But if he was to leave, I would be absolutely gutted. But at the same time, I can understand that. But where would he go to? Because obviously, Real Madrid have now got Courtois. Where do we think De Gea would be off to if he does leave? If he does leave United, where could he go? Did you go to Old Trafford on Tuesday? If so, did you react when Dybala scored a pretty crap goal, if I'm being honest? I wasn't there on Tuesday. I was trying my best to get a ticket. I could not get a ticket on Tuesday. But Dybala, he made it look easy, really, didn't he? He was just happy it was a crap goal to concede. Smalling was unlucky, but you know what? They didn't even get out to first gear, Juventus, and we were chasing shadows for the majority of that game, and especially on that goal. Everybody getting pulled out of position. They were far too intelligent for us. Their movements off the ball was fantastic, and that's exactly what we do not do. So yeah, it was a crap goal to concede, but at the same time, I think we were so poor, and we could have conceded far more than that one goal on Tuesday. If De Gea goes, I swear to God, I'm going to kick Jose's ass. You won't be the only one. If I'm being honest with you, I'm a Liverpool fan, but United are going the same way as Arsenal 2 to 3 years ago. I can't argue with that, Callum, to be honest with you. And as a United fan, I don't want that to happen, and which is why I'm Jose out, which is why I want something to change. And I'll back the manager literally until as long as I can stand. But now enough is enough at the end of the day. We can't see anything changing. We're falling further and further behind. We were already behind as it is, and we're just falling further behind with the likes of yourselves, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal now playing fantastic football as well. Chelsea, obviously, they're all on the rise and we're on the decline and we're going to fall further behind. And that's exactly what I don't want as a United fan. Woodward is a negotiator. Basically, Jose is saying he has no confidence in Ed Woodward with signing players. Neither do I. I'll second that as well. Jose needs to go, Soph, and I agree with you. De Gea is the best keeper in the world for me, and we can't let him go. Jose is the problem, and it's time for him to go. United have a group of random players who each have different playing preferences. That is a very good point, because if you look at our team on player, United, you'd think, wow, what a talented squad. But at the moment we're playing, I say at the moment, it's been for a while now, we're playing as a bunch of individuals. There's no cohesion with the team. If you look at Liverpool, the way they play, if you look at Chelsea this year, everybody understands each other's game. Our players are playing like a bunch of strangers. We literally are not playing to each other's strengths. It's like pass the ball to an individual and hope they do something brilliant. If not, pass the ball on again and hope they do something brilliant. Pass the ball again. It's too many people passing the ball on, no risk taken. Everybody looks terrified. And you've got to say, surely the manager has got something to do that. Players are scared to take risks. And if you're not going to take risks in football, then you're not going to create chances and score goals. And that, for me, is the simplicity of it. I know I'm not completely related to the topic, but maybe you should do a weekly segment on United's women's team. We're already looking into that. It's a fantastic comment, and definitely, yes, I am interested in talking about the women's team. The longer we keep Mourinho, the harder it will be to rebuild once he's gone. Exactly. We are falling further and further behind. Going here, just want to say DT and Troops are two hanging on pricks. Not real Arsenal fans, more interested in being social super fans and milking social media. Look, one thing I will say about DT, and I mean, I've never met Troops, but obviously I know of Troops, and they're very passionate guys, you've got to say that. And they've made a very good living from supporting Arsenal and doing obviously all of the social media stuff. But I can't talk on their behalf. Like I say, I've met DT after what happened last week, but I've got the utmost respect for them. I've never had a problem with them. And like I say, Arsenal being on a low, yes, they have profited from that, but at the same time, they're Arsenal fans through and through, and they're very passionate guys, and that's what I'm going to say on that matter. And obviously, I'm interested to see how they react this season, because Arsenal on the up, playing fantastic football. I watched them against Leicester the other night. First half was a bit of a worry, but second half was some of the best football I've seen for years. Mesut Ozil, that's probably the best game I've seen him play because he actually wanted the ball. His movement was fantastic, and obviously some of the assists he made. The through ball to Bellerin for Aubameyang's second goal, I think it was his second, was his first goal, was fantastic. And that's the kind of Ozil you want to see because you hear talk of him doing that, but he doesn't do it every week. And I would like to see more of that from Mesut Ozil. United seems to struggle against teams who play a recognised striker. United seems to struggle against any team at the moment, to be honest with you. We struggled against Newcastle, who are struggling themselves. Arsenal winning the 11 in a row has to be their best achievement since 2004. If fan reaction is anything to go by, that's very true, Matthew. They are flying at the moment. Manager's doing a good job. You have to hold your hands up and acknowledge sometimes that, yes, fair play to Arsenal. They're on the up. They're bouncing back. But doesn't it just show what a changing manager can do? Let's just put that in the mind of United fans at the moment as well. Attacking football is missing from United. I would definitely agree with that. Jose said Manchester United have the same ambition as Everton. What do you think of this conference against Everton? Well, I'm going on Sunday. Like I say, I expect us to beat Everton. I don't expect us to roll them over because we don't take enough risks in our play to do that. Probably be some scrappy goal, a bit like the Martial shank, the Ashley Young shank that fell to Martial against Chelsea, something like that. But some fans will believe that if we beat Everton maybe 2-0 at the weekend, then we have turned a corner. I don't fall to the papering over the cracks, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of problems, not just Jose Mourinho, and I'm not shifting the blame completely onto him because that is not the case as well. But the board need to be looked at. Jose Mourinho obviously needs to be looked at because I've said players look terrified on the ball, and that's surely something to do with him. And of course, you have to look at the players as well. Of course, you do. Why do we need to go a goal down before reacting? Why do we need to be losing? Why don't we start like that? And yes, that does also come down to confidence as well. Who's to blame for the confidence issue? Jose Mourinho. And it's all this man management talk. People are saying that Jose doesn't know how to put an arm around a player, which sometimes needs to happen. And yes, of course he does. Martial, for me, is a prime example. He needs an arm around him every now and again. Doesn't seem to happen. But, like I said, it's not just Jose Mourinho. Nowhere near is it just Jose Mourinho. The board needs looking at as well. Because of the recruitment. Lukaku, for me, is not a United striker. We needed to strengthen our back four. We didn't strengthen our back four. And we're leaking goals and we're not scoring goals at the minute, which is the worst situation to be in as a football club. We don't need a goal down to attack. We need to concede before Mourinho even dares to utter the word. It's true. I don't even think Jose utters the word. I think it's the players, to be honest with you. Best centre-back for United this season has been Pogba in the second half versus Newcastle. It's true. But you know what? Even though Pogba was playing as pretty much a centre-back against Newcastle in the second half. But I kind of liked it because it was Pogba showing a bit of leadership and saying, just give me the ball and let me try and make something happen. He was taking a bit of authority. He wanted to be on the ball. He wanted to try and dictate the play. Rather than hiding and not really seeing him on the ball much, at least he was trying to get on the ball. Yes, of course I want to see him further forwards, but I think Pogba doing that against Newcastle was what won us that game. I really do. Do you think United have Zidane lined up? Zidane is the name that I suggested that I would like to take over. Is he lined up? You know what? There's rumours that there's already talks, and I don't think those rumours start from thin air. I think there has been something, but they've stated that they're fully behind Jose Mourinho still. How? I don't know. But I would like to think so. Yes, he would be my ideal replacement, but the way our board is working at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if they have had no talks whatsoever. Should United play two up front again, and would you like to have Harry Kane at United? Yeah, I think United should have two up front. I think especially if we've got Lukaku, if he wants to keep Lukaku, we need someone else up there with him because Lukaku cannot hold the ball up to save his life. So yeah, I would like two up front. I think Sanchez should be more central, maybe even part of that front too as well. I think they get a lot more from him. But for me, I would love to see two up front. Why not? Why not go two up front? Unfortunately, I do not see where our next win is coming from. Everton and Bournemouth play rugby football. United can't handle possession-based teams. United can't handle any team. I said this earlier. But I do think we'll beat Everton at home. I think we need to bounce back, especially after a really low-key performance against Juventus. We look terrified to death, and I think the players will get a result against Everton. I think we'll win, but I think it'll be a pretty equal game. Maybe like a 1-0 or maybe a 2-0, but I'm not expecting us to turn them over or anything like that, but I think it'll be a win that papers over the cracks for a lot of fans. We need wingers. Players aren't playing the natural position. Mata isn't a winger, so that is a very good point for me. Mata should be playing in the number 10. I would base the team around him. It's a shame, really, he's getting on because I think he's a fantastic player and he should have played a lot more. But playing him out on the right is not suited to him at all. He does a job there for us, don't get me wrong, but I'm sick of this. He does a job. Ashley Young does a job at right back. We need players who are playing in their positions to get the best out of them. And we do that too much at United. We put players there and just expect them to do a job for us. Would you take Douglas Costa at United? Yep. Yes, I would. Liverpool will win the Champions League and it hurts. Look, at the end of the day, you've got to acknowledge that Liverpool are playing some fantastic football. They really are, and Klopp is doing a good job. Yeah, he spent a lot of money, but look at the football that they're playing. Look at their players on paper as well, and you'd think they're not as good as United's, but look at the cohesion. Look at their fluidity in their play. Look at the movement. They all understand each other's game. They're not playing as individuals. Look at the work ethic. I watched Fabinho run back to his own box the other day and nick a ball off a player. Would you see any player do that for United? You see Lukaku pretending to run back, and angling back, you could say, stumbling back, but no way would you see that work ethic. And that's the difference at the minute, just doing the simple things, working hard for each other, keeping the ball, simple passes, taking a risk. We're not doing any of that. What's your thoughts on Van Persie retirement rumours, and what's your favourite moment in a United shirt? You got to say, in terms of the moment, when he scored against City, the free kick, but my favourite goal was when he scored the hat-trick against Villa and Rooney played the ball over his shoulder and he volleyed it left peg. That was my favourite goal. Van Persie, awesome player, awesome guy, absolutely loved him. I missed him, to be fair, when he left United. It was a shame that he wasn't officially announced and stuff like that, but for me, great player, fantastic guy as well. And yeah, it's a shame to see him retiring, but it's probably at the right time, to be honest with you. But my favourite moment, like I say, was the moment against City, the free kick, but in terms of the best goal, it's got to be that volley against Villa. Our best opportunities come from pressing, yet we hardly do it. I completely agree. Against Chelsea, we got one goal and we thought, hang on, we can do something here. We started to press, we got another goal not long after, and we looked dangerous. The second we stopped doing that, the second Mata went off as well and we couldn't retain the ball, we looked in danger. So why don't we do it from the off? Exactly what I said. Why do we need to go a goal down, or even 2 goals down, as Matthew said, before we react? This should be happening from the start. Chris Smalling, 200 appearances for Manchester United. He's lucky to get this far. Yes, Mohamed, you could say he's another one, not United quality, but you've got to say he's probably been our best centre-back for the last few seasons. And that is worrying. Don't get me wrong, that is worrying that Chris Smalling, or Mike Smalling, you could say, has been our best defender. But he has been. He really has been. We have to play Mata. Agreed. Who would you have as captain? Me. Who would you have as captain? You know, I don't even know at the minute. Who is our biggest leader in our squad? We haven't got one. And that is our worry. We have not got one leader, one person to grab hold of the game, grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and lead by example. Markle, Smalling, and Jones, the Chuckle brothers. Yep, definitely. Smalling is decent. People I've been asked in the past, would you keep Smalling or would you keep Jones if you had to get rid of? I would definitely keep Smalling. He would be the one that I would choose. Rashford and Sanchez up front. Martial, Mata, right would change United. We could change positions like that all we wanted to, Patrick, but if our players are told not to attack or they're terrified to attack and take risks, then I don't think we'll see much difference, which is what boils down to the manager being in charge. He's played teams. Juventus team, I was happy with that lineup. Chelsea, happy with that lineup. But that first half, inexplainable. The Juventus game, inexplainable. That lineup I was happy with as a fan, but the football, definitely what I wasn't happy with. How many players do you think we need to change this around? 11. No, we don't. To be honest, we need a new manager. We need to definitely strengthen the defence. I've already said my feelings on Lukaku. He's not a United striker, so I would say Lukaku for me, I would get rid of. Ramos at United, he's the kind of leader we definitely need. Boye is way better defender than Smalling. The thing with Boye, though, he's either injured or he does something really rash. Definitely got the potential to be an amazing defender. He's showed in glimpses that he can be a fantastic defender. But that Brighton performance opened my eyes as to how rash he can actually be. And obviously he's had a few injury problems as well. I'm baffled as to why he hasn't been given another chance in there and he's been on the bench. But we shall see. You ended DT's career. I didn't end DT's career. I want a defender and a leader. I agree completely. Ramos is a cheat, though, so it's true. It's true. To be fair, people say Ashley Young is a cheat, he dived. Suarez is a cheat, but you're telling me he's not a world-class player. He is. A new board would do everyone in the world of good. Agreed. Hi, Sophie from Trinidad and Tobago. Fantastic. Thank you for tuning in. Wow. Thoughts on Jose to Madrid? Madrid, if you're looking at Jose, I will literally pay for his flights to go to Madrid now if that's the case. Why are they looking at Jose Mourinho? They're not watching the Premier League this season. Chiellini, I would definitely take. I think he's fantastic. He's definitely a beastly defender, a fantastic leader. He's the more no-nonsense defender that we need, I think. Jose, De Gea, Martial and Pogba want to leave. Yep, all these contracts that are ending as well is a massive worry. But realistically, in the comments, because the majority are talking about United at the minute, who would you get rid of? Who would you get rid of right now? If we had to clean our squad up, who would you get rid of? Send me a list of the players you would get rid of now and how can we strengthen? I'm going to move on from United at the minute because I am aware we haven't just got Man United fans in here and I'm not just here to talk about United, even though I know that is a massive topic right now. But let's touch on Arsenal's form at the moment. They're absolutely flying. 11 wins. Can't argue with that. Yes, there's people saying they're playing against farmers or they haven't really been tested yet. We shall see. Palace, to be fair, at the weekend is going to be a difficult game for them. But you've got to admit their football has been brilliant. They all look like they're full of confidence right now. And he's doing a fantastic job as manager there. But Arsenal, yeah, I've got to talk about him for a little bit though, just to keep people happy. No, but as a football fan, you've got to acknowledge it. Like I said earlier, Arsenal are on the way up. Spurs obviously playing good football. Chelsea, Liverpool, City, and then there's us on the decline. And we need to do something about that. I genuinely think we're going to fall further and further behind. I can't see us catching up, especially with the ancient football that we're playing at the moment. But yeah, Spurs aren't playing that good, but come on, you're playing better than United. Come on. They've already developed a style, playing 3 months. Mourinho's had 2 years. Mourinho's had 2 years. He doesn't even know what his strongest pairing at centre-back is. Reality check. He does not have a clue. If Arsenal beat Liverpool, then I will consider them as good. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Like I've just said, people are saying they play against farmers. They haven't really been tested yet. But you can only beat what's in front of you, and they're doing that at the minute. You know, we're not doing that. So they can only beat what's in front of you, and they're doing that well at the moment. So fair play to Arsenal, they're on the way up. Obviously, I'm hoping they slip up along the way as a United fan, but you have to appreciate they're playing good football, and the manager has done a very good job as well. Would you be happy with 4th and keep Jose? How can you? You have to say we're down in 10th at the minute, so 4th is looking appealing, yes. But no, I wouldn't be happy with 4th. I know our expectations are high and stuff, but I wouldn't be happy with 4th now. Thierry Henry has been named as Monaco manager. Do you think that is a good choice for Monaco? I was excited when I saw that appointment. There's been talks of Henry going into a managerial role. Obviously, he was a fantastic player. He'll be a great role model in the French league. What do you guys think about that? I think it's an exciting appointment. The only thing is with Monaco, they always seem to be a selling team. Their top players, they seem to have to sell on. Fabinho, for example, and Mbappe. They seem a bit like the Southampton of the French league, where they're selling on all their best players, which is a bit of a concern. I'm sure it is for Thierry Henry. But they're a fantastic side. They play some exciting football. And you know what? I think he can do something special there at Monaco. I really do. Monaco needs stability. I agree. Is Henry the guy to give that stability, though? He's obviously a new manager. Is he the right guy for the job, then? Buffon is the best leader in world football for sure. Buffon is definitely a legend. Arsenal are the only team that would go on an 11-game winning streak just to finish 4th. They won't win anything big. I can't see Arsenal competing for the league. I definitely can't see that. Would you want an ex-Man United player to be manager for United? Depends who it is. I wouldn't want Jemba in charge at United. So it depends who that player is. Monaco are nothing without Mbappe. Mbappe is just world class, isn't he? He's an amazing player. It feels like the season. Sorry, I just missed that one. It feels like the season is going to end. Yeah, as a United fan, obviously we're all a bit down at the moment about the season and how it's going, but we've got to stay positive. I'm still going to support the team. I'm still going to support them even with Jose in charge. I'm not going to particularly like the football we're playing at the moment, but I'll support United till the end. But for sure, yeah, things need to change totally. But we need to try and stay positive. Hopefully, something can turn this around, whether it be a new manager. Maybe Jose Mourinho will work it out. I can't see it happening, but maybe you can. And I'm all for that happening, definitely. Lukaku needs service. I already said that. Don't get me wrong, I think Lukaku is poor, but he hasn't made the most of the times he has got the ball. He has missed some sitter of chances. For me, he's not United quality. Don't get me wrong, I do sympathise with the fact that he's got no service, but he's got to do more. For me, he needs to be dropped, maybe to give him the kick up the arse that he needs, but something's got to change. You can't keep plodding along in games like he's at the moment. It's not even like he's working his socks off. He's not doing that at the moment. He's simply just strolling around the pitch. He's standing still, which isn't helping the players on the ball in the middle because there's no movement ahead of him, and Lukaku isn't offering that. Lukaku needs service on help getting out of Old Trafford. The guy is a bodybuilder who stumbled into a football top. I think Jose is done as a coach, but he could be a great director of football. If Jose loses to Valencia and then we go out, do you think the board will sack him? You know what? A part of me still thinks that he will not be sacked. Why, I don't know. I think he should be. But the way our board is operating at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll probably give him a new contract the way it's going at the minute. He should be sacked, yes. If we're out of the Champions League, then I would sack Jose Mourinho. We're clinging on at the moment. We're clinging on. Board don't have the guts to sack him, and he's got a massive payout. If he gets sacked, he's laughing, isn't he? He's got a massive payout. I wouldn't be bothered about being sacked with the wage that I'll be offered. We should be aiming to get Icardi. Very good striker for sure. Jose Mourinho would be a good international manager for Portugal. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on to do that in future, to be honest with you. But we shall see. Right, Cristiano Ronaldo was back at Old Trafford. Well, more than likely for the last time. How did we think he played? He's obviously a class act. His cross for their goal was fantastic. He was pretty quiet on the night, and I saw people on my Twitter feed saying, "Oh, when he cheered at the end of the game," and they were saying this guy doesn't love United. But what is he meant to do? Is he meant to cry? His team have just won. His team have just won. You know what I mean? So I don't get why people are getting on his back about that. Ronaldo is a legend. I loved him, obviously, at United. He's top class. For me, he played well for Juventus. It was a fairly quiet game, but every time he got the ball, he looked dangerous. Like I say, he put the cross in for their goal. And it was good to see him back at Old Trafford, emotional, no doubt, and good to see the pictures of him with Fergie afterwards as well. Utmost respect for Ronaldo. And he obviously loves Alex Ferguson as well, so it was fantastic to see. The Bulls haven't got the board to sack him, which I was wrong. CR7 is the GOAT, I completely agree. Martial apparently has rejected a contract. I read that today as well. Very worrying, because I want us to keep Martial, but could you blame him again? A bit like the De Gea situation, could you blame him if he went? Especially with Jose still in charge. He was respectful when they won. I didn't think he was too over the top. Exactly. I agree with that completely, Peter. For me, you've got to show that bit of hunger. You've got to show that you're happy for your team to win. If you didn't, then I'd be more concerned. Ronaldo spared us from even more misery. Yeah, great save from De Gea on Ronaldo's shot, though. Got to say, it was a great save. Part of me at the end, when it finished, when Ronaldo was running at, I think it was Lindelof, just before the whistle went to call, a part of me wanted him to score. It was obvious we weren't getting back into the game. Part of me wanted Ronaldo to score. We need the Juventus CEO instead of that Clayton Woodward. Trust me, he would work wonders for your club. I think I could be director of football or CEO at United at the minute, and we'd be a lot better. No, I'm only joking. I'm atrocious at anything like that. That would be awful. Matthew says, hello, so I've been following your channel for weeks now. It's great how passionate you are about football and a top player too. Thank you very much, Matthew. I appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in. What's your favourite place in Manchester? Old Trafford, obviously. Old Trafford's got to be. Chesney was scared as fuck when Pogba hit that sweet shot. Yeah, but that's literally probably the only thing that Pogba did in that game. It was a good shot, don't get me wrong, and we were very unlucky when it hit the keeper on the back. But literally that was all he did in the game. If De Gea leaves, United is head for 12th to 16th place. Yep, no doubt De Gea has saved a lot of points for us. And if he goes, I dread to think. We'll probably sign Mignolet, knowing Ed Woodward. He wants to get the sack so he can get his payoff. You can clearly see that. Part of me thinks that as well. Definitely. He's laughing, isn't he, really, if he gets sacked. We actually play better when Fellaini goes in the box and hoofballs. Look, Fellaini, for me, I know a lot of people hate Fellaini, should I say. He's a useful weapon when he's used correctly. Fellaini is the kind of player that you do shove on the defence to cause hassle when you need a goal. He's the kind of player that you play further up front because he must be an absolute nightmare to play. Mourinho thinks he's a ball-playing centre midfielder. No way is he a ball-playing centre midfielder. And that's what annoys me about Fellaini, because I'm not saying I hate Fellaini and Fellaini out and get rid of him. Because if used correctly, if he's further forward, it can be effective. I'm not saying he should start every game, nowhere near. But I'm saying if he needs to be in that United squad, then at least use him correctly. And that's my opinion on Fellaini. De Gea has been United's Player of the Year for the last 5 years. Very true. And again, that's worrying. That is very worrying. No, it's not that Mourinho has no passion. It's just Mourinho's like Wenger, dinosaur tactics. I loved it against Chelsea when he showed a bit of passion when he went out there. I think there's a sports scientist or whoever it was. He went at him. I thought that was fantastic. Like, I love seeing that bit of hunger. That's the Mourinho that we want to see. But did we only see that because it was at Chelsea? Would we see that against any other club? I don't know. And that's the worrying thing. Why did we only see that against Chelsea and why not in any other games? Because that's more of the Mourinho that I want to see. Love what you did to DT. Congrats on the 2K subs. Thank you very much. Absolutely buzzing. I'm nearly on 3K now, so please share the channel. Get people to subscribe because I'm almost on 3K, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm over the moon with the amount of attention that my channel's been getting over the last few days. Would not blame Martial or De Gea if they leave. In the current situation, neither would I. City faced 16 shots on target all season. United faces 8 on target against Wolves alone. Yep, I went to the Wolves game. They were unlucky. I was baffled when Fred went off because I thought Fred played really well in that game. I thought he was the one player who actually looked like he was trying to make stuff happen. What position do you usually play? I normally play a holding midfielder, CDM. I used to be a striker, so I'd say I can play pretty much anywhere. Not a centre back though, or a goalie. But other than that, I think I can play anywhere. But my usual position is a CDM. Is top 4 still possible? Yeah, it's possible if we change our style of football. I think that's an honest answer. I think if we keep playing with the dinosaur tactics as just been mentioned, no. But if you look at the quality of our squad realistically, yeah, it is possible if everyone performs to their maximum and the tactics are right. Yeah, we could. It would be hard, but it's still possible. Why not try and play goalkeeper? I am shocking. I will literally try and kick everything. Definitely, I'm not a goalkeeper. I could do a video of how not to be a goalkeeper. That's probably more accurate. Yeah, Dwayne, good comment. Please do smash the like button. I am trying to respond to as many comments as I can, but they are flowing through, so please do accept my apology if I miss it. It's not that I'm purposely ignoring. The style of play is shocking, very shocking. It literally sends me to sleep sometimes. Would you get Jose out now if you had the power? And who would you get in? Yes, I would. And I said I'd have Zidane. I'd give Zidane a go. I really would. I think he'd get the best out of Pogba and Martial. He'd get the players working together. He's an absolute legend in the game. And I think he's obviously a big selling point for him. He's a legend. I think marketing-wise, he's a good person to bring in. And like I say, he's a legend, so players will respect him. And I think he can get the best out of most of our squad. I really do. So Zidane would be the manager who I'd get in. He would definitely be the player I'd get in. That's for sure. You should be a striker. I think you would be good. Problem with Zidane is that he's had his squad already built. Exactly. So yeah, it is a risk, but I think anybody who we get at the moment is a risk at United. We're falling further behind anyway, so why not try something new? Basically, all the long-term managers don't work anymore. We don't really have any long-term managers. I think it's mostly short-term, and the second that the targets aren't being met, they're being sacked, apart from Jose Mourinho. But if you look at most of the clubs, that seems to be what happens. Wenger was the last example of a long-term manager, and he stayed for 10 years too long, didn't he? So I don't think the way the football is now, I know it's a harsh world that we live in, but long-term managers, they're not around anymore. Would you give Giggsy a go right now? I don't know. Let's see if he gets on it. He's obviously at Wales at the moment. Let's see how he gets on there, because that's a good way for us to analyse how good of a manager he really is. But me, I would want to see Zidane. Do you think any player or manager could save us from this madness? You know what? It's not just one player. Manager, yes, will help. I do think we need to strengthen definitely the back. And like I say, we're not scoring goals. But who knows, under a different manager, Lukaku could be banging the goals in, because the style of the play will be better. He's getting better service, there's more balls into the box, and he's more confident. So it's hard to say, but I think first things first, yeah, I think the manager is the starting point. I really do. The board obviously needs to be looked at. The recruitment needs to be looked at. But I think it all starts with the manager. And Zidane would be my preference, definitely. Right, I'm going to sign off by giving you my predictions for some of the weekend's games. So I'm going to focus on the main games this weekend. No offence to any teams out there, but I think it makes it far less boring if I recite these scores rather than any others. So Liverpool, home against Cardiff. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win to Liverpool in that one. Cardiff, obviously, yeah, they got the first win at the weekend, but they're not, for me, they're not good enough for the Premier League. I don't think they've recruited enough decent players. And I'm going to say 3-0, especially with Liverpool being at home as well. 3-0 to Liverpool in that one. Then Burnley are at home to Chelsea. Burnley have nowhere near being as strong as they were last season. So my score prediction for that one, I'm going to say 2-1 to Chelsea, because I think being away at Turf Moor is a tough place to go to, but I still think Chelsea will have enough to go through in that game. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Chelsea. Palace against Arsenal. Again, Palace is a difficult place to go to, but Arsenal are flying at the moment, and I think Arsenal are actually going to set down a marker this weekend. They look really high in confidence, and I'm going to say a 2-0 win to Arsenal in that one. Final game is the game that I'm going to be at this weekend. Man United against Everton. Now, I've said I think United are going to win that game. I'll still stick to that. I think we're going to win it. I think it's going to be a tight game though. But I'm going to say a 2-0 win to United. Maybe a scrappy goal and then a header from Chris Smalling. But 2-0 is my prediction for that game. Let me know what your predictions are. Drop a comment on the video. I'll respond to as many as I can. I appreciate your input. I really do. And I like this to be a show where we can interact and I can answer some of your questions. I am a United fan, as we all know, but I'm not just here on a United purpose. I want to chat about all things football. I like to talk about the biggest topics. So if there's anything that I haven't spoken about that you want to hear my opinion on, please do drop a comment as well. Thank you so much, guys. Like I say, my subscriptions are flying through the roof at the moment. I'm almost on 3K, so if you could share my channel, I really do appreciate it. Drop a like as well. And if you haven't subscribed, if you're new today, please do hit that subscribe button as well. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a good evening. Have a lovely weekend. And hopefully United get 3 points this weekend as well. Fingers crossed for that one. Take care, guys. Cheers. See ya.